Welcome to Grow Mastermind Group. We're a group of entrepreneurs that we meet every single week with the purpose to encourage other entrepreneurs to discover, fulfill, and unleash that potential. With this being said, tonight we're going to have our wonderful guest, Mr. Christopher Carter, which is an amazing entrepreneur, top 5,000 Inc., which is going to teach us how to lead in this business actually, generally, and to help to unleash, fulfill, and 10x our mindset and our understanding of business. This being said, I'm going to give Mr. Christopher the opportunity to tell more about what he does and to learn about his business, and we're going to take it from there.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me tonight. I truly appreciate it. I've been following the WhatsApp group and some of the activities for some time now. As a two-time 10X mentor participant, as well as a two-time 10X Las Vegas participant, and being around some of the teams and stuff. It's always good to get involved with other individuals, and I like learning from other individuals. I'm a technologist as a CEO and chairman of the board for Approyo. My focus is pretty much laser focused on that organization from a day-to-day basis, but I always crave to learn and see what's going on inside the mentor groups, inside of the 10X groups, and to have conversations with individuals. See if there's people to have conversations that can help each other out. You know, as long as you approach me in the right way, I'm willing to do things, and I'm always willing to help other people. And I think that's how other people should be as well. As long as they're willing to approach you in the proper manner, listen to them, offer advice, help them. Maybe they'll do business with you. Maybe we'll do business together. You never know. But it's all about that relationship from a 10X perspective, what we can do, what we can't do. You know, I should give you a little background on myself if you don't know. I am Chris Carter. Like I said, I'm a two-time 10X mentor and participant at Las Vegas. I am the CEO and chairman of a company called Approyo, which deals with SAP technology. This is actually the third company that I've created in my lifetime so far. I was fortunate enough to go to school at Georgia Tech, in case anybody knows where the ATL is. Great city. Went to school there. I literally took myself there. I was an individual my mother was on welfare. I did not want to stay in the state of Wisconsin. I wanted to get as far away as possible. So I worked very hard at getting out of there and knew that there was something better for me. So coming from that environment, I went the furthest place warm that I could go and play baseball. And that's where I went, and that was Atlanta. And I literally took a bunch of t-shirts at the time that were 94 WKTI, 93.3, the rock station here in Milwaukee, and a bunch of some jeans, some shoes, baseball gear, piled it all up in a car, and I left. And so anybody that ever says that, oh, it's so hard, I can't do this, I can't do that, I literally call bullshit on them. Pardon my language, anybody. You know, it is only difficult right up here. You can work at it. You can move around in different circles. You can try harder. If you're not trying hard enough, you're not going to succeed. It's all about keeping to move that momentum forward within yourself. That was one of the things that I had to learn early on is I am the master of my own destiny. It's not this teacher or professor. It's not this coach. It's not this person. It's not this person that I work with. Sure, I wanted to kiss a little butt back and forth, and I wanted to make sure that people knew that I was willing to work hard, but it was also, was I willing to do the extra things that happened? And I was very, very fortunate enough that I found a mentor very early in college. The individual helped me along the way with giving me some great recommendations. how to prepare myself, how to work harder, how to stay after the office. You know, when everybody else is going off home and they're going off to drink at a bar or go to happy hour because it's 5 o'clock, leaving at 4:30 to go to 5 o'clock happy hour. I would stay until 7, 8 o'clock at night. What was I going to do? Go sit at home on a couch and watch TV? And I'm sorry, right now I sure don't want to sit at home on the couch watching political ads for anybody. So why not do something that's going to better myself with either the company that I was working for, learning more from my mentor, learning more from other people in other companies, reading. I used to go to the Georgia Tech Library a lot and just read magazines from other parts of the world about other businesses and activities, little things that would just give me some interest and try to help me along as I kept moving forward on that journey. So it was really, as Peter and I were talking about earlier, really pushing myself. And you know, you can't push people to the water and make them drink. But if you're that individual and you get to that water and you just inhale that water, it's amazing what's going to happen. You look, and I'm very fortunate, I can see every day when I look in the mirror what it did to me. Our company, as an FYI, we are a 4-time INC5000 award winner. We are what else are we? We've won so many different awards. I've got the greatest staff in the world. I'm just this guy up here with a vision and an idea, and it's everybody within the organization helps lead that growth. Our technology staff takes care of our clients. I've got wonderful clients. I'm actually wearing one of my favorite client shirts, H&K, Heckler & Koch, which is a weapons manufacturer in Germany and also the United States. And I go out of my way to make sure that my staff and my customers know how much I appreciate everything they're doing for not only myself, but for the company and our goals and where we want to go and how we want to go. And I think it's those little things that go above and beyond every day, just showing them how much you care. You know, even during this time in this pandemic, we lost 1 customer and we gained 3 new customers because we went out of our way to show them how much we cared. We helped our customers with taking some of the cost off the table for them and moving it 6 months out to a number of our customers to try to help them. And we actually approached them with that. We wanted them to understand that we were in this with them. We wanted to help them. We wanted them to know that they didn't have to let go of staff. We also went after potential customers, and if they were letting people go, or we knew that they have an SAP organization, and we started seeing people on LinkedIn with new job requests that they were looking for a new position, we immediately attacked them. We've got a funnel that is really nicely filled right now, and we're going after companies to try and help them. And then we're trying to hire some of those individuals that they let go into our organization, because then we can spread them across to the groups and the other organizations that we take care of. So we're trying to do twofold. We're trying to help the customer, and we're trying to help their staff with what they're doing and how they're doing it. And I think that leads to a really good relationship on both sides of it, because they know each other, they care about each other. They didn't want to let people go in this pandemic. This was not what they wanted to do. And so if we can help them with that as well, we're willing to try to do that. So that's enough about me at the moment. I know, Peter, we wanted to, there's no presentation or anything like that, but if anybody wants to ask questions, has a thought or comment that you'd like me to talk about or expand upon, can talk about where we've been, what we've done, and stuff like that. Peter, somebody put their hands, or I think they're either clapping or raising a hand. I can't tell. Oh, it's Christian down there, the gentleman that I thought he was 2 people at once because he had taken off his glasses. And I'm like, oh, we got another person. Yay. Good evening. Nope. I can't hear him at all. Sorry. Kristen?
Can you hear? Hello?
Oh, there you are. Now I hear you. Yes.
Let's see. We don't hear you.
No.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Now I can, yes.
Great. Hi. So I don't know what happened.
Good evening.
I could hear you. Yeah, fine. First of all, I just want to say congratulations for being recognized as a revolutionary in 2020. I've seen that was done a few days ago. So well done.
Thank you.
My question to you is: I know that this the last company is about, is it 7 years old? Is it?
Yes.
Yeah. So what? How did you? I know you've been successful all your life, but how was? What was the for the last I'll say 10, 20 years? And how did you manage to get a brand new company and just make it successful in such a short time?
Sure. So thank you for that. Those very kind words. But unfortunately, I've not been successful for the last 20, 30 years. I actually, unfortunately, had to, I had put all my eggs in one basket at one point in time with my second to last company, and I had to actually go into bankruptcy. It was the worst experience from a business standpoint of my life. And it's somewhere that I will never or ever want to go again. That is a huge turning point in my life where I've diversified the company with clients and activities. So when you ask how I've been able to do that, I am motivated by that piece of the puzzle right there. I do not ever want to have either my staff or my customers or anybody within the organization that I have to feel that much pain towards, either letting them go or losing them because I've done something that put us in that position. And it was literally just brutal for me in that part. So with what the last 7 years, what it's done is it's really been taking that mindset that I know what pain feels like from a failure standpoint, and I don't want that to happen again. So I drew out a different plan. My plan was to be very diversified across the spectrum, not just peaks and valleys and peaks and valleys. So instead of just having, at that point in time, we had basically 5 or 6 customers. And one of them was a major customer that took up about 60% of our business. And that was the one that killed us. It was brutal. And again, that motivating factor. Now, there are some things on top of that, not only the motivation that I had and the diversification. We're very blessed that in the SAP ecosystem, we're going through an upgrade cycle right now. So for the next 5+ years, we have got to upgrade over 100,000 customers to the net new systems that are out there. Along with that is this new thing called the cloud that everybody wants to go to and be on. And they feel that it's one of those things that everybody should be on. And they don't realize that not everybody can be on it at this point in time. So for us, a big thing is educating people. We want to educate anybody that's currently running SAP and really showcasing and helping them what SAP is. Now, SAP is an application that companies like Miller Brewing Company, Budweiser, Briggs & Stratton, Heckler & Koch, weapons manufacturer, Delta Airlines, large organizations use to run their company, HR, finance, their shipping and distribution, their warehousing. It's one solution that encompasses everything. And then that software application is used for everybody and anybody. So from that point, so with the last 7 years, I would say on top of that, what has really happened is I've gone out of my way to find partners who don't do what we do. Dell is a major partner for us. Ernst & Young is a major partner for us. And other organizations who don't focus on our area of expertise and literally said, you bring us in, we'll bring you in. And it's been a great relationship of working the partnership direction on top of that. And so it's given me that ability to diversify and never have too many peaks and valleys. We hope it's more peaks, but you never know when a valley is going to hit like this Corona and this pandemic.
So we have a question also from Jeff. And I have also a few questions. I'm keeping a track of them, but I want to give everybody the opportunity first.
Okay. Hey, Jeff. Hope he's on mute.
All right, press him.
Hear me okay? Yeah.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, so Jeff the Entrepreneur here. Pleasure to meet you, sir. Failed forward many times in businesses from I own equity in the software, so I kind of did diversify. Really, everything you've been through is like, how would a younger entrepreneur, almost, the way I look at it, dude, is even if I bankrupt, like, I'm never going to quit. If I have the bankruptcy, I know it's going to be one of the worst things. But
Jeff, I think
Peter, like, I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'd have, and I won't totally throw.
Jeff, I think you have some issues with the. With the connection.
You lost me? Wait, I'll put it in the chat. Put it in the chat.
Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat because we barely hear you. We're trying to hear you, but it's a lot of interference. And it says your connection is very low. So I know you're driving, so we got you. Okay. So Antal is going to put the questions. You know, I want to ask you, Chris, what is the size that company needs to be minimum for them to use your software? Or if it's anything like a criteria to define, okay, who needs the software? It needs only like huge corporation, or it can be used to help also small or medium-sized entrepreneurs, or, you know, like define a little bit more.
So typically the companies that use SAP software are going to be companies anywhere from $20 million in revenue on up. Multi-billion-dollar companies like the ones I made reference earlier are going to be there. Then you're going to have the ones in the hundreds of millions of dollars. And then you're going to have ones, the lowest number is somewhere in about the $20 million range. And we've got a couple of those that we've got as we call them the SMB, small, medium business organizations. And we like to go after them as well because they don't have to staff up, where we can provide them that staff capability and go from there.
So you provide also like a staffing for them?
No, we don't do staffing. There are other types of organizations that'll do staffing. What we will do is we will come in, instead of them having to hire a staff member specifically to run the SAP application, we will be their staff. So literally, we call ourselves your SAP basis partner right down the hallway. We literally will be the partner, will be the person that they call anytime that application has a problem.
Okay. So you're going to be.
I think I saw Kristen had another question, but I also saw somebody, the gentleman put in a question.
Yeah, Jeff.
What's a way to rebound from the bankruptcy? That's a great question. So what's a way to do it is don't give up. It took me 2 years. I actually kind of got out of the SAP ecosystem and tried to figure out what I did wrong. And I looked back and I did an analysis of what I did wrong. And I loaded up on one company and really thought they were going to be the end all be all. But then again, at the end of the day, I didn't give up on where I think that this ecosystem and what we should be doing from an SAP perspective. I went out and I learned about the new tools that they were bringing in the market, wanted to understand what was going on. I took my own time and I flew to Germany, I flew to California, I flew to other parts of the world to study what they were bringing to the market so we could be ready and take that and move forward with that. So just don't stop, don't give up. Yes, you're going to have a failure, learn from it. It's going to hurt, but learn from it and use it to go forward.
Indeed, it is. And also the second question, I think we have also what we consider to be an INC 500 company.
what was that again? I'm sorry. Here, let me go back to it.
Get reconsidered.
Also, how do you get reconsidered as an INC500 company? So INC has a yearly, INC5000 has a yearly 5,000 list that they come in and out with. You have to either be registered for it through, I guess our marketing team does that every year. You have to have a certain amount of revenue. You got to hit certain percentages. You've had to have your first year, you've had to have, I think it's $1 million or $2 million in revenue to be considered. And then you've had to have an exponential uptick in it. We've gone multiple years now where we've had anywhere between 50%, 100% growth year over year. And they take all of that into evaluation and then decide if you're a candidate for either anywhere between 1 and 5,000. Several years ago, we were at, what were we? We were, oops, sorry about that. We were at 300 and something. Then we went to 737. Then we went to 1,000, and now I think, or 2,000 and 2,000. But every year it's changed a little bit. We've gone up, even though our percentages keep at a nice steady plane. There's companies out there that are just crushing it right now and going forward from there. Kristen, you said you had another one, sir?
Yes, you mentioned earlier that you had a couple of mentors. Would you able to say which one would be the most influential, and what was the, I don't know, the best and the biggest change in the last, let's say, 7 years when you said it with your company?
Yeah, so for my mentors, I've had a couple of different mentors over the course of my life, and I've been very lucky with that. I think my first mentor was actually extremely helpful in guiding me into making me into the man that I am today. When I went to college, I was a very young, naive young man. Didn't really understand, didn't really know what business was. I just thought I'd be a keyboard guy, a technologist, somebody who built code and be able to build and create from there. And he really showed me what it took to be a businessman, an entrepreneur, how it felt to go from just being on my keyboard all day working to some of the things I needed to learn and should learn in order to keep growing. Because I really, at one point in time, I actually started my own little marketing company inside of my dorm room. And I thought that was kind of cool. And he pushed me to try to do that. And so I was helping people with building business cards and letterhead and stuff like that. And that was kind of cool. And I really loved the fact that I could do the things that needed to be done. So that's where I started to really grasp a hold of the business side of it, not the technology, but the business side, and really grow on that. And that really helped. And then I've had 2 more since then. The gentleman I have now is fantastic, works with me on a weekly, monthly basis whenever we want to call each other. But I'd say then my second one, he was fantastic because he was in the SAP ecosystem, and he was the one that pulled me out from my keyboard and pushed me into the sales activities to be able to really sell and to get into it and really help people. And he saw that my passion and my caring, because as he said one time, you're the most caring technologist I've ever seen in my life. And that's really resonated because I do care. You know, no matter if it's my family, if it's my friends, others, I tend to wear things on my sleeve a little bit. And so that really has helped guide me as well. And for the last 7 years, you know, I haven't deviated from who this guy is. This guy is Chris Carter. He is who he is. He's going to be who he's going to be. And so my care and thought process around that, it continues to this day.
Excellent. Thank you.
Cool. You got it. I saw somebody just typed something in the chat. I'm driving. How did I first find Grant Cardone? Oh, great question. And then somebody said, do you have any type of investing real estate, IL stocks? Okay. So that one's easy. Yes. I invest in a lot of stuff. I've got stocks, I've got ETFs, I've got real estate, but not the real estate that I would rent. I've got land. This planet is not getting any bigger. unless you're in China and they put boulders in the sea and they build out these cool little islands. But I buy land, because if you own the land, you own the planet. So there. I am diversified in stocks, no matter if it's technologies, financials. I was fortunate enough to get into the Rocket Mortgage IPO a couple months ago, so I'm in that. And I've had some other IPOs that I'm in. And then my goal is actually in 5 years to either sell or retire something within this organization if I'm lucky enough. I want to form my own venture capital group, and I want to be able to help entrepreneurs and start entrepreneurs and take a little piece of their business by giving them financials and wisdom and helping them out with that as well. And then how did I meet Grant? I actually, between Tony Robbins events, Tony Robbins spoke at 2 different Inc. events. Every year there's an INC5000 event that goes off, and he spoke at 2 of them back-to-back years in a row. And I thought that was pretty cool. And then I started following him online, and lo and behold, I started getting these spams for Ty Lopez, Grant Cardone, and others. And then I was also Entrepreneur on Fire, EOF, is a podcast that I listen to of a gentleman, and I really like that. And Grant was on that, Ty was on that, and so I started following, and I wanted to listen to hear, and they all were saying the same thing. I did like some of the things Grant stated from a resonation standpoint, especially some of the stuff that he talks about in regards to the apartments and such like that. I've got a good friend who owns a very nice real estate portfolio, and I'll do some stuff with that every once in a while. But if mine is, he's about real estate from the apartments and the homes. Mine is all about finding the land and then holding on to it and regurgitating it up when somebody wants to build something over in that area, or an area of, like we have a lake house 2 hours from here, that village and that's those cities, you know, I own some land in those areas. So when they want to build more, they got to come to me, and they're going to have to pay my price because they cannot do eminent domain on it, which is pretty nice. So that's a good thing. And so I was listening to Grant with that. So that's got to be about 4 or 5 plus years ago now. Same with Tony and the rest of them. And I'll listen to them all on and off. I did the mentor things. I liked the mentor things. I did not like the last one. I'll be very honest. I think I've been honest with his team as well with this at one of the boot camps. I didn't like the fact that they kept trying to sell me on being as part of their group and trying to be a licensee. It's just not me. I don't have the time, patience, or energy for that. I've got a business to run and staff with that. Now, other people that I've talked to as part of the 10X Mentor Group, they're crushing it. I know that's a Gary Vee thing, but they are just crushing it because they have the ability. They know the people, they have a network, they can go out there and they can really have those communicative talks. And it's a good thing for them because they are intelligent people that are going off into that ecosystem, and they're willing to help train and help develop that. So yeah, it's a good thing for that.
100%. It's good to be surrounded by the like-minded people that, you know, helps you to grow. Because as long as you, that, you know, they have like, I always say like this, you always have to find people around you that you cannot showing the path where you want to be, you know, like cannot be in your way, because it's not good to look back. It's always good to look forward. So
very true.
That's very important. You mentioned earlier about your company and leadership, and I want to ask you a question. What is your, say, way of leading the company? Do you have any like specific ways? How is your leadership inside of the company that I would say to inspire your employers, your people, your partners? Because you mentioned something about pandemic and how you approach other companies and how you try to make the entire company to be on the same level with you. How you did that?
So how is my leadership style? I would say I'm King George. let them eat cake, as they used to say back in the days. No, it's teasing, joke. So my leadership style is very direct, very to the point. I'm here to help. I'm here to nurture. But I also expect, I'm going to tell you something one time only. Next time, your manager is going to get involved with it, because either you can't comprehend what the words that are coming out of my mouth, or you are just too stubborn to take on those responsibilities, because somebody in either my position or their manager's position, just there's folks these days that just think that their shit doesn't stink and they can do everything and anything. I'm 51 years old now. I still can't do anything and everything. So I'm very direct. I'm very honest. I'm very open, sometimes too open with some of the staff, to the point where the president of our company and our chief operating officer has actually asked me to pull back a little bit and not be so generous and so open with some of the communications that we have around the company. And so I've had to do that a little bit. As far as to the customer side of it and the partner side of it, I'm open to a point. At the end of the day, it's about Approyo. It's about my staff. It's about my customers and my partners. If there's something that you're doing that's going to hinder those parts of our organization, I'm going to take the knowledge. I'm going to understand it. I'm going to listen to what's being said. And then we're going to make a very quick decision. We've cut partners very quickly who just did not work with our organization. We've actually fired customers. We had a customer that just, they were constantly yelling at our help desk. They were constantly yelling at our knock. They didn't look at themselves and their internal processes. We tried to help them with their internal processes. We tried to really help them, supporting them on a day-to-day and a night-to-night, 24/7, 365. And the same individuals kept coming back with the same belligerent attitude towards my staff. And I will not take that. My staff works too hard and it's too good to have somebody being belligerent to them. Nobody deserves that. Nobody on this call deserves to me. I would never just say to, this young lady's name is Susie, tell Susie that she was a bleep, 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 and think that I can get away with it. That stuff shouldn't happen to anybody. And if those are the type of people that we walked away from, that was a $11,000 a month contract on a 3-year agreement. And we literally told them, we are cutting your agreement in 3 months. We want you to find somebody else and go from there. So it's about respect, especially in today's society. I don't think enough people respect each other's opinions, their voices, and what's going on. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care who you go to bed at night. If you're a good person and you've got a good this right here, a good heart, and you care about others, that's what I care about. The rest of it, that's just fodder. Nobody cared that I was a pasty old white guy up until about 3 years ago. And nobody cares about what I do except for what's inside my heart. And if that's not the case with everybody, I'm sorry, but it's how I look at it. If you've got a good heart and you're a good person, we can have great conversations, no matter what you're doing, what you're thinking, what your aisle preference or whatever. We're going to have a great coffee. We're going to have a great drink of scotch. We're going to have a great beer. And we might have a great friendship. Who knows?
It's a saying that is great what you're saying, and I want to piggyback on that one. It says that before we are business people, we are humans. So we always have to remember that. Before anything,
yeah, exactly.
If you're not
so go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, if we don't know that and we don't apply that one and respect that one, well, we have some problems. And the other thing is business etiquette. It's like one of the things that you notice that I found as challenging is people, they don't respect their words. And they think they're superior and they think that they're better than others. And they think that they can cross you and everything is fine. So all this thing, I think it seems like it's kind of overflowing in other fields, including yours, that they don't respect. And I understand that, you know, some people, they have that, I would say, 7 years on their family when they grew up, and you know, when they're small, and that was the mentality that they are the most precious human being in this earth. However, when you get to business, you have to get back to earth, no matter where you are. So, you know,
there's always somebody that's done more. There's always somebody that's succeeded more. Doesn't matter if it's they've hired more, if they bought more companies, they've brought in more staff, they've made more revenue. You know, somebody's out there that's done better. And I just want to be the best me. Doesn't matter if it's going to be something that I'm the best me for the next week, month, year, 2 years, 6 years. I'm not necessarily chasing after the former heads of CEOs of GE or anybody like that, but I do want to make it successful for my staff and my customers to enjoy. Peter, somebody just put in the chat, where can they find me online? I'm on Twitter under the @Approyo, APPROYO.com. Or yeah, yes, I'll type that all in the chat as we get into that.
That way,
Approyo.
put it, and I'm going to put it also in the YouTube video at the end, so everybody can reach out to you. I'm going to put also for the website, so they can go there and everything.
Yes, feel free to chit chat with me. I'm always available. I'm always willing to talk. Oh, somebody just asked where I'm located. So our corporate headquarters is in Brookfield, Wisconsin, and then we've got offices in Sao Paulo, Brazil, Brussels, Belgium, and Hyderabad, India. And then before the pandemic, my headquarters used to be Delta. Now, anywhere there's a Wi-Fi connection.
That's the perfect one. As long as you're there.
Well, it's amazing. You and I were talking earlier, and for anybody that's on this call, you probably know as well. You know, there's vehicles now with Wi-Fi, and I'm very fortunate. I've got a, what is it? I think it's a 2018 Suburban. It's got Wi-Fi in it. For $20 a month, I can sit in my Suburban. I literally have gone. I went to Sturgis. I went to South Dakota, North Dakota. I will work from my Suburban. My wife or my daughters will drive, and we'll just travel. And I'll work, and making sure that when we stop, we put on a mask, we get out, do whatever we want to do, get back in, and I'm back at keyboard control, phones, everything. And you can work from anywhere nowadays and succeed. And it's that easy compared to, like you and I were talking. My dad used to have a pocket full of nickels back in the day. I don't know if there's anybody very young on this call. There looks like some young people. You used to have to plug a payphone with 5 cents in order to make a call back to the office to find out when your next sales appointment was. It was kind of cool. Now we just work from the road anywhere we want.
Well, not even to go far. I mean, of course, you know, a long time ago, you know, I still use those coins, but I remember 2004, it was the last time when I used the phone, and I was going to a gas station and asked them for change for quarter because my phone didn't work. And I did one of those payphones. And that was the last time I remember. That was 2004. So it was not like so long time ago. Yeah. And he was still on. So since then, I feel like just like right now, it's like I don't think they exist anymore. I see they're more rare to see one of those phones that you can actually put quarters and call. It's like if you don't have the gas to ask somebody to borrow you the phone, you're kind of I would say done. But going back to our discussion, I just want to ask you, like, because we have an interesting title. It's like how to become INC5000 entrepreneur. And I just want to kind of go back on this idea. What advice you will give for an entrepreneur that wants to become on that top 5,000 or 500, and how you think, like, what are the steps or obviously the mindset that you have to get involved for you to get that success to that level that you need?
Sure. The first thing I always tell everybody, just do it. I know it's cliche. I know it's a Nike advertisement, but you got to do it. If you just sit there and say, oh, no, it's going to come to me. I'm going to sit here at my table and, somebody will call me. Somebody will call me and this will work out. that shit doesn't happen, pardon my language. You have got to make your own. You have got to make your own. You have got to make your own. Nobody else is going to do it for you. You have got to make your own. So go do it. Whatever your passion is, whatever your skill is. I don't care if it's making beer. I don't care if it's making jewelry. I don't care if it's making websites or being in the SAP ecosystem. Get out there and do it. Find like-minded people who do the same thing and learn from them. We got this great thing. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Google. You guys hear of Google? Google? Yeah, it's Google. You go out there and you can watch every single video from every exec. Hell, I've got hundreds of videos on YouTube things that are linked on Google. And I talk about SAP and I talk about the SAP business and all that stuff all the time. So it's amazing. But yeah, you got to go out and do it. No matter, I made a joke with my dad last week, and when I finally got to see him after 4 months with this Corona lockdown, he's been locked away. And we were talking about my brother and doing some stuff. And I said, Dad, Jeff just has to go do it. All he has to do is go out and do it. And he could be a success because he's going to be driven towards it. But he's worried about doing it because he's got 3 daughters, he's got a wife, he's got a mortgage and all this. Yeah, you got to take that all in consideration. But that's why this gentleman called Gary Vee said, those are all work your side hustle. You're working 8 hours a day. You're sleeping 6 hours a day. What are you doing with the rest of that time? Take 3 hours to do homework with your daughters, have dinner with them and everything. Okay, now what are you doing with the other 6 hours? As Arnold Schwarzenegger once said, if you're sleeping more than 6 hours a night, sleep faster. I always loved his joke on that one. And yes, now that I'm 50, I do have to sleep a little longer than 6 hours a day. I'm about 6.5, 7 hours now. But just go out and do it. I saw a bunch of questions come up.
Yeah.
You look like you're a very passionate person. How you stay motivated and what are your most exciting things you have done, which has made a big change in your life? So that was one. And then there was another one. How do I stay humble? I have a wife and 2 daughters. They will knock me down if my ego gets too big. Here's a quick story. I'm very fortunate enough. I have a great marketing and PR team. And a couple weeks ago, I was on Fox News Radio. My PR team had got me in there because we were talking about cybersecurity and enterprise and stuff. And I literally from 5:30 in the morning till noon, every 30 minutes, I was on a radio station somewhere in the United States. And I thought this was great. I'm excited. My youngest daughter goes, really, Dad? That's it? You're on Fox News. That's it. And I said, what's wrong? She goes, Dad, really? You're on the radio. Nobody can see your face. Nobody knows what you look like. And she was giving me crap because nobody could see my face, so I wasn't on TV. And so the next week I was on a couple of different TV shows talking about cybersecurity and enterprise. She goes, there you go, Dad. Now they get to see that ugly mug. I was like, gee, thanks, princess. Thanks for making me feel good. So my daughters and my wife will keep me in check very carefully.
Somebody has to keep you on the ground, no?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good.
And so how do I keep my passion was the other one. I believe, Kristen, you said it again. I love what I do. I love going to the office. Even during the pandemic, I've been going into my office every week. I go in every day. There was a time where I didn't want anybody in the office, so I told everybody to go away and not to be in the office. And even I would go into the office just to check on things, make sure everything's okay, check on phones, even though we've got IP-based phones we could do. But I love it. I love talking to my customers. I've become friends. Like the gentleman, this H&K shirt, Heckler & Koch, they are a weapons manufacturer out of Germany. And I go deer hunting and I go turkey hunting and stuff. And we just have conversations about life. We talk about his family who's here in the States. He had to bring over to run the company here in their US based part of it. We just talk about family. We talk about activities and, we've become friends. that brings me passion. I love hearing about things and going from there. So it's pretty cool. Wow, you guys are typing a lot faster than I can talk. Let me get to this next one.
It was asking what is the best advice for a young entrepreneur?
Oh, okay. So the best is partially what I said earlier. Just do it. If you've got something that you're working on, just go off and try it. Something I tell my staff all the time: fail fast, then do the next thing. Fail fast, do the next thing. It's an old philosophy from Henry Ford. If it doesn't work, try it again. Henry Edison had the same ideas. Work on something, doesn't work, fail fast. Especially for me in a technology standpoint, I give every one of my staff members full access to a cloud environment. And I want them to go out there and try to do stuff. And I continuously ask their managers how they're doing, what they're doing. Oh, he tried 18 different times to try this different thing. Okay, how did he do the 19th time? Still working on number 19 right now. Okay, fail fast, but keep moving forward. Every failure is a step forward. And I learned that with that bankruptcy. That was a big falling on my face. But the next, I got up, and then it was the next step. You know, I've had companies that have wanted to sue me. I've had companies that I had disagreements with in regards to their financials and our financials, and they've come after us. Failure, success, failure, success. Everything's going to have one or the other. It's just how you take it as your mindset. Is that failure going to be something that you can learn from? If you can learn from it, that's a success. I've learned from every failure, and I've learned from every success. Wow, you guys are really typing fast.
I will ask the question rather than type again.
Okay.
Where are you headed now? What is your main goal? I don't know, of your life.
So my main goal is to sell this company in 4 years. At 55, I would like to have sold this company and then move from a technology CEO chairman into a venture capital CEO and chairman. The president of the company and the CTO, I've been friends with the CTO of this company for 10 years. When he was at Dell, I was fortunate enough to snag him and bring him over here. And then our president and CEO, I've known him for about 6 years. And we've got the same philosophies. When we're able to either sell this to a large organization or maybe even to the employees or whatever the case may be, our goal is we want to help other companies. We want to help them by being venture capitals, and we want to dole out funds and to help them grow. We've got a philosophy that we don't care who you are, what you are, as long as your business plan is sound, your passion is incredible. That's key. If you've got passion and you've got the right driving forces and the tools, we want to help push you up to that next level. So it could be $50,000, it could be $1 million, who knows? But we're hoping that at that point in time that we've got our VC stuff all together, which we've started to work on putting together, and really start to help people take them to the next level.
Excellent, thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Hey, from Christopher Carter, can you hear me okay now? I'm driving I'm just doing it right now. Anybody who doesn't know me, I'm on my way to actually a client right now. But can you hear me okay? Because I am driving.
Yes, I can hear you, Jeff.
All right, good. You can't see me. So Peter knows a little bit about me. It's a pleasure to meet you and everything. And I'm glad I tuned in tonight. I'm working during these times. My biggest question here, literally, is I basically, so I'm literally doing, I've always built businesses, right? I invest in real estate. I have a 4 unit right now, but you always want to think of the exit strategy with real estate. Everybody says it, but isn't it true with businesses? Like I'm building Changing Lives Consulting. That's my business I have. Doing pretty good right now. So I'm going to do better over time. But shouldn't you build every business with an exit strategy? Like I always felt like I should, and I always got I had 2 software businesses that I was building at a time that I own equity in. But I always thought build every business with an exit strategy, because my goal one day is to be a venture capitalist and help young entrepreneurs like myself who are passionate.
Oh, Jeff, we lost you again, but I got your question. So I'm going to answer your question, even though we lost the end part of you there. I've had a philosophy with the 3 companies that I started that I knew what my exit strategy was going to be. No matter what, it was either going to.
Well, do you think that's a good way to build a business with an exit strategy or no?
Yes, we were just answering. Sorry about that. We lost you a little bit. Yes, for the 3 companies that I've created, I've always had an exit strategy. I knew that I wanted to sell it to a bigger company or sell parts of it to a bigger company. And that's exactly what we want to do here. When it comes to other companies, smaller companies, I fully recommend have an exit strategy. No matter if it's you're going to merge with somebody, you're going to bring in another company and grow bigger, or you're going to end up selling it eventually. The exit strategy, make sure it's a positive mindset. Don't think, yeah, I'm going to work this for 5 years and then somebody's going to pick me up and buy me and then be done with it. No, have a positive mindset of where you want to go. Have a philosophy. Now, your end game may change. Like right now, I'm all about the 55. I'm all about 4 more years from now and then going into the next evolution of my personal business career. It may happen in 2 years. We're growing so well, and who knows, somebody might come in and say, hey, we need you. We need what you do. Come in and we're going to take over your company. Don't be afraid of that early exit or that long-term exit. Maybe it goes off to 6 years. Maybe it goes off to a 7th year. But don't be afraid of that. Now, would I be disappointed? Maybe a little bit because my daughters are in college. And my thought is by the time that 5 years comes around, there might be a grandchild. So I'd spend more time with it. Who knows? But don't be afraid of an exit strategy. Know what you want to do from an exit strategy and work towards it. Everything I'm doing right now with this company is for 4 years to sell at a certain number. And that's all we're focused on right now. Clients and that exit strategy.
Wonderful. And we have Sebastian with another question: how to get your team to do exactly what we need to do, and what?
How to get them to do exactly what we need them to do. So we have a little philosophy in my office. I give you a paycheck, you do what I do. No, I'm kidding. I wish it was that easy. It doesn't work that way. We have a very tough hiring process. Not only can you be technically good at what you do, but you got to fit our culture. We're all about our customers. We're all about our partners. We're all about having a little fun in the office as well. We got some electric skateboards. We got scooters. I feed everybody. I do stuff. So we not only do I don't know. I'm not the guy that hires them. I'll interview people towards the end of the day, but we've got the HR team. We've got the solutions team. We've got a marketing team, sales team. They'll go through the process with them. But then before they even come to me, they get interviewed by my staff in the bullpen and the help desk. If you're coming on the SAP help desk, you're going to get interviewed by 2 people in that help desk and see what type of a person you are. Not only technically, but what are your philosophies about working on a Sunday? If somebody calls in and says, hey, our system's down, or a ticket comes in and everybody's got to be in there. Are you going to? No, that's not on me. I'm sorry. I'm above that. If you're not willing to be a team player with everybody in the organization and you think you're either above or below somebody, you're probably not going to be a fit in our organization. Of the 100 and some, 170 some now people we've got, if you're not a team player, I'm sorry. What is that? Do you swipe right or swipe left? I don't know what that is on the Tinder. You go to the next one, whatever that is, whatever way, and we'll do it both ways. So my teams really have kind of the final say in regards to what it is and who we're going to bring on board to the organization. We can find technical, but can you find a right team member to be a part of the team? Team is everything for us.
Yeah.
Did I answer it, Sebastian?
Let's see. I don't know if Sebastian, you have answer your question?
Was that good, Sebastian?
Actually, yeah, pretty much, yes. But I was actually expecting if maybe you were using daily sheet or something that people need to do and follow up every day, something a report every day that you're expecting from service.
Oh, what type of tools we use and stuff like that? What type of structure we have in place for them from a tools and oh, okay. Sorry, different question. So
it's
our
pretty much
organization,
I had both.
You got it. So from a sales and marketing perspective, we use salesforce.com. So we can validate everything that goes on from a calls, leads, blah, 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 from a sales perspective. From a technical perspective, we use a tool called Zendesk, and we can see everything that happens from a ticket, what's going on in the NOC. We've got our NOC, and then we got our SOC, SAP Operations Center, and then our basic NOC for printers and stand-up and the infrastructure. We can validate everything that they're doing, what projects they're working on, if it's a project or if it's just a quick fix that needs to happen on a help desk for one of our customers. And we can gauge how they're doing and how they're interacting with each other, as well as the companies. So we track that. Zendesk is a help desk tool that companies can email, go to a web, or make a phone call into for any type of problems that are happening with their SAP system or their infrastructure or their landscape. And so that ticketing system tracks everything, and then we gauge what those individuals are doing and make sure that they're keeping up on their KPIs, their performance indicators. And we really want to make sure that that's happening. And then what we do then, and here's a great point on this, is if we see that somebody's slipping or falling down, we want to have a conversation with them, something going on. We found out 2 years, maybe 3 years ago now, young man had just gotten married, found out that his wife had a miscarriage. Had no idea. He didn't communicate with anybody, and that's something that I would not have asked. You know, you bring that to us. I'm not going to know that. Found out that his wife had a miscarriage. He was taking some time. It was taking him and his wife very hard, which it would to anybody. And his numbers had just crashed for about 2 weeks. His supervisor talked to him and stuff, and he asked if he could come talk to me personally. Well, of course, my door's always open. Let's come on in. And he let me know what happened. Man, I went over to him and I gave him a big hug. You know, I'm probably double his age, probably 3 times his size, being 6'3", 300 pounds. And I just gave him a huge hug, and I told him, dude, go take care of your wife, man. If you got to let me know those things so I can know that you can go home and just be with her, sit with her, get her a coffee, tell her how much you love her. Things are going to be okay. God's got a plan for everything, no matter what your religious belief is, and whoever, just take care of her. And I gave him the next week off, and I told his supervisor that I needed to make sure that he had the week off, get his coverage. It's on me. It doesn't come off of his vacation time. I'm responsible as the CEO and chairman of this for my staff. Make it happen. And they went and they took care of him. And you know what? Since that time, they've now had a child, and I believe as of a couple weeks ago, I think she's now 7 months pregnant with their possible second child. And I keep telling them over and over again, Chris is a great boy or girl name, just not happening. So we manage those things, and we check on those, and we want to make sure that they're taken care of and they're not slipping. And if there is an issue, that they can come to us with those tools. Lots of great tools out there you can use. Freeware, lots of great freeware out there for entrepreneurs to be able to use, no matter if it's, you know, the Jiras or Trellos or Slacks, the free versions. You know, free is great, but also as long as it works and it does what you need it to, great tools for every entrepreneur out there to be able to look at. My Twitter is @approyo.com. Somebody just texted or typed that.
Chris, I have another question, if you don't mind.
Please.
If you had to, let's say everything will change and your team will have to be, run remotely, how would you keep them motivated and on track just to follow your vision?
Mm-hmm. Sure. So we actually have moved almost everybody to remote. We give them now a stipend for phone usage, computer usage, internet usage. It said, stay away until you feel comfortable coming back. A couple people come back, but we want them to keep the monies. What we do is we have daily scrum calls, we call them. We also do what's called our Beer 30. Any day of the week, I could send an invite for anybody and everybody and say, we're having a Beer 30. And we're going to do it tonight, 5:30 p.m. That way, too, some of the teams in India can be on and others. Or we're having a Beer 30 at 6:30 a.m., but yet it's not beer, it's coffee for me because you got India and Europe over there. And I just want to talk to them. I don't talk any business with them. It's all about life. How you doing? How you taking care of things? Hey, Blonde, are you taking care of your mom and dad? How's everything with them? Hey, Philippe, did you get a new car since your electric Porsche burnt to the ground a couple months ago? Little things that I know and I goof around with them. I want them to have fun. I want them to talk about life. I don't want them to talk about business during that period of time. And I want them to speak to me, have a conversation, communicate with me, and go from there. So I try to keep them motivated by just being involved with them. I would normally see a good chunk of them every day in the office. It's all about communication and being a part of them.
That's straight to the point there, because it's very important to let people.
Communication, yes, Christian, communication is key.
Yeah, it is. And you have to always, I would say, open yourself to show them you're kind of vulnerable, so they can open up for you. Because otherwise, if you're going to be that perfect Iron Man with an iron face, well, it's going to be hard. As long as you're human and you open up and you have a joke, have a talk, people are more willing to talk with you. They're more willing to
exactly.
I think it's very important.
Agree.
Yeah, so he's basically Jeff. I don't know if you see. I know you're driving. So it's basically his company does the Twitter. Yeah. So we have it here because he asked me to.
Yep. I just put my 2 Twitters in there for everybody. You got their corporate one and you got my personal one. Feel free to hit me up.
We'll do so, sir. Just to kind of wrap up, I will say some aspect. Of course, if nobody has any other question, we can have another or 2 questions more. But just to wrap up the idea of everything you do, what do you see as the next couple of years for the market and for the entrepreneurs as a must-have, and must change, and must adapt? And
ooh, wow, there's a question. So you must do now. With everything going on right now in this pandemic and people being stuck, with 35 to 40% of all restaurants closing because of this pandemic, with organizations going into bankruptcy. Look at all the major retailers that are going into bankruptcy. If you're a young entrepreneur or an old entrepreneur, or any entrepreneur that is into fashion and you've got your own fashion line, promote the hell out of it right now. You're in a prime spot. You've got all these eyeballs on computers. Nobody's going into a store. So now you no longer have to fight against these big retail department stores. Just go out there and do it. If you've got any passion, promote, get out and do it. So that would be what I would tell everybody to do, is go out and do it. And we're doing it. We are promoting like crazy. We're in magazines, we're in advertising. We're all over YouTube, we're all over Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. PR teams got me on TV shows all the time and radio stations and so on. Just go do it. And it's amazing. They want you to do it because there's no cost involved to it. Just exactly get your face known, get your voice known, get your passion known. I'm lucky enough that a cable news network called Newsmax likes me. So they've got me on their shows in regards to ERPs and securities and technologies. So they come to me as their expert. If you can find a niche that you're an expert in, pitch. Then when it comes to where things are going, man, I don't know what's going on with this pandemic anytime soon. I'm up here in Wisconsin, and we've got the second highest rate of people with coronavirus right now. I don't know if it's going to go away in the wintertime. I don't know if it's going to go away in the summertime. I just don't know what's going to happen with it. So because of the uncertainties and the unknowns, get out on the web, get out in the ecosystem as much as you can. If you can't leave, you know, I know some people that are stuck, that are friends of mine that are stuck in New York, and they can't do a lot. I've got one friend that's out there that's doing nothing but doing secondary marketing pieces for individual organizations because they can't bring in people, they can't hire. So they're a consultant for them for marketing purposes. There's another one individual that I know that's doing some work for DraftKings in regards to AI technologies and some of the work in the background. So just start doing it as much as you can and feel comfortable. If you know somebody, if you know people that are still in there at work and still working and they're executives of these organizations and they're a fit for what you know or what you do, call them. Don't email them. Don't text them. Call them. Have a conversation with people. Just the other day, I had a conversation. I knew an executive left one company and went to a second company. I knew this second company had SAP software in it, and I immediately waited a lot. I didn't immediately. I waited 1 week. I knew he took the job because he changed his LinkedIn profile. I called him. Said, hey, we haven't talked in about 2 months. I see that you got the new position. Just want to talk to you about what's going on and how things are going. Literally 5 minutes later, he called me back. Chris, it's great to talk to you. Yeah, I was very lucky during the pandemic. It was blah, blah, blah. I said, man, great for you, blah, blah. And then as we were going to hang up, I said, hey, are you going to work with the SAP team at all? As a matter of fact, it's going to report to me. I said, dude, you know who your best SAP company is, right? And oh, Chris, yes. Give me 2 more weeks. Let's set up a call. I immediately sent him an invite 2 weeks from Thursday's call, and he accepted it right away. And all of a sudden, 2 more invites came in from 2 other people as part of his organization. Pick up a phone. Pick up a phone and just call. So much easier. It won't get deleted. It won't get thrown out.
Powerful, powerful. Oh, I think you muted yourself.
What's that? I'm sorry?
I think you muted yourself. I was watching the red button. I don't know if you're talking, but yeah, that's great advice. Great. I mean, I love it. I would like to find that, from your experience, and now that you told me that you're so well connected, who do you think we should have maybe in the next couple of months to this call and to learn about them? Who, if you know anybody that you can recommend for us to bring him on the call like we brought you, and to pick his brain, if you know somebody who would like your recommendation. We always look for people that are...
I would recommend if you could reach out to Jared from Grant's office, or Sherry, the new Sherry, not the old Sherry, or if you could get in contact with the old Sherry, because she's doing her work now as an instructor for health and education activities. If you can catch one of those three very smart people to talk to.
Okay, so we're gonna reach her right now. We have some.
The old Sherry was just fantastic. She was Kristen was right there. She was a driver, a go-getter, and she's now doing all of her athletics and activity. She's doing exactly what we all do. She's an entrepreneur. Oh, perfect. Kristen, if you can get her on this group, she's got more energy than anybody I ever met in that office. She is just boom, boom, boom. And I think that she drinks a lot more coffee than me, which is hard to believe.
Red Bull. How everybody can reach you? I know that you're in the chat. We'll talk about the Twitter, but if they can reach you, if you want to share any other information where they can follow you, so in that way.
Yeah, we'll put it all on the YouTube channel as well. You've got my emails there. You've got my Twitter. You got my Instagram, my Facebook. Not only for the company.
Private message on the WhatsApp. and whatever you're going to put there, I'm going to copy and paste
Will
it.
do.
So that way everybody's going to know how to reach out to you. And if anybody knows that they need an SMP, or why not a future investor in your business from the venture capital, that's going to be Mr. Christopher Carter in person. No? As long as you have the business plan and the passion.
Passion's got to be there.
Okay.
And somebody's got to tell me what Susie's dog is. What kind of dog is that? I can't tell.
It's a multi-poo.
A multi-poo, okay. I've got 2 beagles sleeping on the chairs over there.
It's good to have animals. It's a good company sometimes.
My baby.
Sometimes.
If you're not on the road all the time, that they can be painful, but especially in real estate, from real estate point of view. But anyhow, thank you very much, everybody, for coming tonight. Thank you, Chris, one more time. I just want to make a small announcement. Next week, we're going to have Mr. Ken Honda. Chris, if you don't know who's Ken Honda, I'd strongly advise you also to Google it. He's a guy that's going to talk about happy money, how to balance your life in a Zen way. He's a nice shape.
No, it's ending right now.
Jeff, thank you. Sorry. So anyhow, so I was just trying to say that, yeah, Mr. Ken Honda is going to be next week, and he is like an international. He sold his book, over 7 million sales in his book. And if anybody wants to learn about that, about Zen money from a Zen millionaire, he has an amazing concept about money and happiness. And I think it's important for everybody to know about how to be happy while we have money. And I'm gonna have him. It took me like about 6 months to get him on, and next week is gonna be the week. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful next week, and please.
Thank you, everyone. Be safe.
Thank you very much.
Be safe, everybody.
A wonderful week. Thank you, Chris, one more time. And looking forward for our next time to meet and to have a beer or coffee, if not.
We'll see you all in Las Vegas for a 10X.
That's for sure. Thank you. Have a great night.
Cheers.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.